What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. We'll start working on the Sylvia today. We are going to be starting to transfer everything over from the track car that I want to put onto the street car, so I can then get the track car ready to sell. Oh yeah, the Sev's here now too, but you'll see that in the next video. I gotta quickly apologise if there's any sort of weird background noise. Neighbours across the road are having some, I think, people painting the outside of their house, and there's scaffolding up and they're playing music real loud and talk real loud. So yeah, if there's annoying background noise, my apologies, but yeah, it is what it is when you gotta work from an urban environment. But yeah, today, so what I want to do is, this is already 5 stud, which is cool. But yeah, I want to take the big brakes off this, well, the front at least. These are factory S14 turbo brakes. So yeah, we're going to take these and the rotors. I'm also going to take these calipers off the rear, and the rotors obviously, but I'm going to take the calipers off and just keep these around because these are R32 GDST calipers. The reason I'm not going to run those on this S14 is because the S14s have a handbrake off the caliper, not an internal drum, kind of like the Sevs and Skylines. So because the handbrake setup is like that, it means I can't run the big brakes from a 32 on this without converting to a internal drum handbrake setup. So yeah, these brakes are gonna be fine. We're gonna have turbo brakes on the front, so gonna have more than enough stopping power. Also want to take the adjusters off this. So if you guys remember, I got a bit of a sponsorship deal from TSD, so I've still got a brand new set of TSD coilovers. These things have literally done 2 track days, so I'm going to take these out and chuck those in that as well. I also going to switch the lights over. I actually robbed the rear tail lights from that and chucked them on the back of this, so we'll do that as well. It's hot as shit, I might actually do that first. I miss having a workshop. Days like this, it was good to be in a nice cool workshop. It's nice being in the sun, but I've been out here for 2 seconds and I'm already sweating profusely. So I got these lights off the track car, I'm about to put them back on this. Now I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be running these taillights. So if you don't know, these are pre-facelift taillights. These are supposedly the ugly ducklings of them. I do think the facelift taillights look a little bit better, but I don't know if I can bring myself to pay those kind of prices for a stock item. I know there are a couple of aftermarket companies out there that do some taillights that look pretty cool, so I might look into those at a later date. But anyway, I'm just going to chuck these on now just so it looks a little bit better. Obviously when I go to paint it, I'm going to have to take them off again anyway, so yeah, we are just going to chuck these on so it doesn't look so ugly. With that, if you use the power of YouTube, bit of before and after. So already looks way better. So when I got the garage up and I'm, I don't know, working in here, every time I walk past it, I can just see a little bit better of an arse end. It's not quite as crappy. I don't like that sack of shit. Nah, it's alright, we'll get you going soon. Right, so now I've got to do a bit of juggling. Got to jack the front of this up and roll it back so I can then get this out of the garage. Fuck, I've actually got to put some rear wheels on this. Right, so we got things moved around. I'm sweating profusely. It's like 28 degrees or something. It's so hot. So I decided to be smart and leave this in here. I don't actually know why I was planning on putting that outside, but yeah, ended up pushing Mike's car out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the struts out of this. In the rear, it's just got some standard S14 struts, but in the front, it's actually got some old school Tyne adjusters there, which obviously are going to go into the track car shell. And then once I take those out, I'll take the struts, well, the coilovers out of the track car and the brakes, and then we'll chuck them on this. Right, so I got all the struts out of the S14 now, sitting on the ground over here. So I found something that's pretty cool. I actually found out two other things regarding to the rear end, which I'll talk about in a second, but I actually found this. This looks to be like an old dealership sheet. This thing was 10 grand. This is actually what I paid for the car too, but this was when it would have been still a 20DE auto, and this is back when it only had 74,000 Ks on it. I'm not actually sure what this has done. Oh, it doesn't even have the original cluster anymore. It's got that, I'll show you. It's got one of these cooler white ones, and that's 184 Ks. Actually, this is the original cluster here, I think. How many Ks are on that? 257, so yeah, 257,000 Ks. I just realized this body's done a lot of fucking Ks. Pretty reasonable condition for that. So yeah, this was nearly 200,000 Ks ago, is what this sheet is. That's pretty cool. Might see if I can clean that up and maybe hang it up somewhere in here. I also found out two things with the rear end. First is a good thing, second is not terrible, just kind of annoying. First thing is this, I found out that this is actually 5x1 axles. So Nissans have sort of two different types of axles. Well, they got a lot, but your general two different types, your 5x1s and your 6x2s. So at the moment, my track car, the Ceph, they've got 6x2s in them. The 5x1s are supposed to be stronger. I don't actually know if that's true or not, but everyone seems to think it is. If that's true, then that's good, because that means we got some stronger axles. The second thing is, found out that this thing has subframe locking collars. It's kind of annoying, because it means I'm gonna have to drop the subframe and take those out, because I don't think you can pass cert like that. I suppose that actually, it's not a bad thing, because then that gives me an excuse to actually drop the subframe, put brand new bushes in it, and maybe we powder coat the subframe. Clean all the arms up. It's not bad actually. So yep, now I'm gonna start taking everything I need off the track car. I'm not gonna bother filming that. And then once I've got everything off that, check back in and start chucking it on this car. Right, so I finally got everything off the S14 that I wanted to get off today. It's so insanely hot. I had to go and change my shirt because it was like just so wet, just gross. Got everything laid out here. TSC adjusters, these rear ones looking a bit dirty when I went off track a couple of times, but nothing but a water blast won't work out. So while I was taking the brakes and the adjusters off the track car, I was actually thinking more about this, because I have to take the subframe out to replace to do the locking collars, or to get rid of them and replace the bushes on the subframe. I've actually decided that what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take the front subframe out too. So I'm actually going to go all out on this thing. Got a lot of stuff that's coming with that you guys are going to see. That's going to be more of a fast-paced build. With this, because it is going to be a street car, I do want to make it tidy, and to do that, sometimes it takes a bit longer to do things like that. And I figured, why not, while the subframe's out, yeah, just take the front one out, give the wheel wells a bit of a scrub, because whoever painted this, because this originally isn't this color, you can kind of see it here, it's originally the maroon sort of color, but whoever painted it blue didn't mask off shit in here. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean all this up. I'm gonna go under here, clean all the underside up, and I'm actually gonna hit the underneath of this car with a fresh coat of underseal. Now it's gonna be a big task, but I think it's gonna be worth it in the end, especially because, like I said, my goal for this car is to make it pretty tidy. I'm not going to go to the extent of zinc plating all the bolts and shit like that, but I mean, while it's completely apart, while it's a complete bare shell, again, since I got to pull the subframe out anyway, it's not that much extra work to really clean up the underside of this car and put a fresh coat of underseal. I mean, no one's going to see it unless you watch the videos, but I know it's there. And yeah, while the subframe's out, I think I'll powder coat it, and I'm probably going to get some adjustable camber arms and tow arms. But the forward link and the bottom arm here, the lower arm, I'll probably powder coat those as well. And then at the front, probably look at powder coating the front subframe in here. I'll probably do adjustable caster arm, definitely powder coat the lower arm and maybe even the knuckle as well. So yeah, this car is going to be pretty clean. So what I'm going to do now is going to start taking this out. Just got to disconnect the handbrake off the caliper and then the actual brake line itself. Because the drive shaft is out, it is literally just 4 bolts and the subframe is just going to drop right out. So this video has not gone quite how I planned. I did originally plan to get all the stuff in the car, but yeah, things changed, and I think in the end we're going to have a much better product. Originally my plan actually was to just throw the motor and gearbox straight in the car, But when we grabbed it from the lockup, I realized that whoever painted this engine bay, not only did they paint the outside of the car really crappy and got a ton of overspray like in the wheel wells. Yeah, you see better on the side. They literally did not prep this engine bay for paint at all. So you can see that's the factory color there. I don't even think they scuffed it up before they painted over it. They just maybe cleaned it and sprayed it. So that's some RFB shit done on the Sylvia. So we're gonna un-RFB the RFB. And saying that though, for those of you that are on this channel because you want the RFB, there's your RFB right there, it's coming. The C-clip for the handbrake is being an absolute bastard. The one on the other side was not this hard. So you gotta break out the big guns. No, never mind, that's actually harder to use. Got it. Caliper out. Always grab your banjos and put them in your calipers, because the amount of banjo bolts that I've lost, dumb. Ooh, we're a bit crusty in here. Need these dust shields for certain stuff as well, so I'm going to take these off and clean them up and may even powder coat these things too. So now I've got the calipers off, it's time to drop the subframe. I've just removed the 2 bolts for the little bracket under here that connects to the front of the subframe just for a little bit of support, I guess. Yeah, there's just 2 bolts here, so we drop those out. Oops, smack the camera. So yeah, now all we're gonna do is just a bolt there, another one on the other side, and then we got 2 at the back, and then the whole thing will just drop right down. Now, usually your handbrake cables will be attached to the subframe, but it looks like this subframe, it's been out before to replace the locking collars, but when they put the subframe back in, it looks like they didn't put this bolt in. So the last thing you'd usually have to do is the handbrake cables are usually bolted onto the subframe over here, but whoever put these locking collars in, when they put the subframe back up the last time, they just left the bolt in the subframe and didn't actually bolt the bracket up to it. So good job, mate. What do you know, it's the same on this side as well. We'll continue dropping it down. I'm gonna set the camera back up so I've got 2 hands for this. Something was catching, I didn't realise what it was, but that was the first time I've ever seen on the top of the diff they've got a breather. And usually there's a line that goes on it that like goes out towards where the filler is for the tank to let the diff breathe. That was the first diff I've ever seen in my life that actually had that line connected. And like that, subframe's out. So we can get under here at a later date. I'm not going to do that in this video, but going to go and take a whole lot more stuff off, take all these brake lines out, take these handbrake cables off, take all the fuel lines and stuff out, and then yeah, we're going to get to work at scrubbing this. Haven't decided if I'm going to take the fuel tank out or not. I don't know if I can be bothered. I don't know if there's going to be much point, but we'll decide if we'll do that or not. But yeah, subframe's out. So what I'm gonna do now is probably take all this apart. Here's a closer look at these 5x1 axles I was telling you guys about before. So yeah, let's probably just start taking this apart, I guess. So the subframe's out and it's all apart now. Everything is a gigantic mess at the moment. And you would have seen in the time lapse when I was getting the diff out that I was struggling a little bit. So that's Sam, if you guys haven't seen her before. So yeah, that'll be it for today for this one. It's been a long one. This has been hard work, but nah, it's going to be good in the long run. I think next up I'm going to have to have the unfortunate job of taking these bushes out. These things are an absolute nightmare to get out, but yep, that'll be next. And then I guess we'll get a lot of this stuff sandblasted, and then once it's sandblasted, send it off to powder coaters and probably start looking at doing under here at some point next week maybe as well. Start taking everything out and prepping it. So yeah, that'll be it for this one. Cheers for watching, guys. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Stop you.